Yes, hello, and welcome to our next installment in our series of programs on playing card game Solitaire. We got an item from one of our subscribers, and Annie from Sidewinder, Colorado writes in and says, "Hey, card guy, here's a question for you. How about a game based on my favorite animal of all, the penguin?" Well, Annie, I've got just the game for you. It is called Penguin, and I think you're going to love it. Let's learn how to play. Okay, well, this is a one-pack game. We will be using a standard pack of playing cards. You know it well, 52 cards. It has 2 colors inside. It has 4 suits within, and there are, of course, 13 ranks per suit, and they range from ace through king. Now, first, we always recommend shuffling those cards, thoroughly. It has been proven pretty mathematically and substantiated that 7 times is sort of the ideal number. Any more than that isn't necessary, but 7 times helps you achieve maximum randomness. So you're ready to play your game from a clean slate. Now let's talk about the layout of our game called Penguin. Now we are going to deal out all 52 cards in the pack, and we are going to arrange them into 7 vertical columns. Now there will be 7 cards in each. Now you may be wondering, is that enough? It's a 49 card tableau. That is correct. Now, as we deal the very first column and we deal the very first card, look at that first card. Do you see it? Do you see that ace of diamonds? That is a special card. It is called the beak, related to the penguin. Hold on to other aces as they get dealt. So let's continue dealing out our other 6 columns as you see here, and when you find those other 3 aces next to your 49 card tableau, you're going to set them aside. Now again, there's your beak. Keep it in mind. Your other aces simply stack to the right, and those will act as your foundations. Those are 3 of the 4. We need to free the beak in order to create our 4th foundation. It's very important. Now, on those foundations, your job is to build up. And you build up in suit, and it is a cyclical arrangement, meaning if you start with a 5, you're going to go all the way around the horn to the 4. There are 13 cards total per pile. Now keep that in mind. So you see the arrangement, you see your tableau, and in the tableau your job is to build down in suit. Now do you see a move? Oh, how about the 9 of spades? Perfect. Place that on the 10 of spades to begin your very first run. Now you're getting it. Now remember, the top card is always in play, and as you build runs, you may move those runs and make arrangements. To help that, we have the ability to park cards. Where do we do it? How does it work? In the game of Penguin, there are 7 free cells located above each column, and those are parking spaces. You can take a card to and from the tableau to make arrangements and use it strategically. So as you build your runs, think about it. How can I make decisions to free the beak, establish my 4th foundation? That is going to be critical for the game. And remember, every foundation needs 13 cards for you to win. Now, are you ready? Do you think you can do it? I know you can. What do you say we now give it a shot for real? Okay, well, I'm going to begin with a nice clean surface here, and I'm going to start off by dealing my column of 7 cards. Now, right off the bat, the beak is our Jack of Hearts, so keep those jacks in mind as you deal. Let's continue with the balance of our first column of 7 cards, and we have 6 more columns to follow. As we do so, keep an eye out for those jacks. We will build a 49 card tableau here. I'll pick up the pace just a little bit. We'll start to look. There's our very first jack. We can set him aside. We'll continue to deal out our tableau, and as we find a jack, we will set him aside. So as we deal, keep your eyes peeled. There we go. There's number 2 and number 3 and 4, and we can finish off with our final column here to the right. So 49 cards for the tableau and 3 jack foundations. Okay, let's begin by simply studying the tableau. How can we use those 7 free cells to our advantage? How can we park cards so that we can build runs strategically? Remember, that's going to be very important to be able to build on our foundations. And on those foundations, we will be building up in suit. That's cyclical. Now, the first thing that I like to do, because there are jack foundations, is to find all of the queens, because that will be the very first card we put on our foundations. How can we free those queens so we can build? How do we make arrangements to release them? It's very important. We have to ultimately free the beak. That jack of hearts needs to come out, so we have to attack that column. Let's begin by parking that 6 of clubs up top. That will allow us to play that queen of diamonds very nicely, and then our king of diamonds can follow along. Remember, those foundations build up. What about that 6? Let's put the 6 now back to the tableau on the 7. I like that a lot. We really want to manage those free cells and not abuse them. How about that 6? Let's put that 6 of spades up top where it belongs. That gives us a chance to play with that 8. Now that 8 has to go on the 9. The 7 and 6 could go on the 8, but I think I wish to park that 8 so that the queen of spades is free to play onto the jack. And then that 10, I'm simply going to park it. Look at this. We have freed the beak. I love it. The jack of hearts now joins, is now our 4th foundation. There you go. And we will play accordingly. Now we have an empty column here. How do we handle an empty column? Who claims the position? Well, the rule is it is the rank that is 1 below the beak. So that is the 10. Only 10s in this version of the game can claim that free column. So we need a 9 of hearts to play on that 10 of hearts. Where is it? How do we get to it? It's going to be tough, so let's first instead free the queen of hearts. That'll be a focus. So let's park that ace up in one of our free cells. We'll take that queen and play it on the jack of hearts, and that will allow us to do a couple of things. Now let's think about it. That 2 of hearts can play onto the 3. I like that. We can return the ace back down to the tableau, and now we are going to manage our free cells. We got to think about it. We can't fill them up or we're going to be in trouble. What should be next here? Should we move that ace? Let's go ahead and park that ace. And that'll give us the chance to then play that king of hearts up on our heart foundation. I like it. The ace can then follow the king. Remember, it is a cyclical pile. So on top of the king goes an ace. Here comes an ace, and then a 2, and then a 3. I think you're getting the hang of it now. Now, what about on that ace of diamonds? Well, let's do the same. Let's find that 2. Let's put up that 3. Here comes the 4 of diamonds, and of course the 5 of diamonds to follow. We're getting closer on that one. I like it. The 4 of hearts can play up as well. Now, what about that 6 up there? Let's go ahead and return that 6 down to the 7 of spades. Remember, on the tableau, you build down in suit. We can do the same with the ace onto the 2, and we're going to manage our free cells. We have 6 now free for us to move and play with. We'll take that 9 of hearts and put it onto the 10. And now we've got an empty column. And remember, what's the only card that can claim it? It is the 10, because it is 1 rank lower than the beak. So where is a handy 10? We may have to move some things around to get there. Let's take that 5 of spades and move it. I like that a little bit better. That will allow us to think through and maybe move that 6 of diamonds over. What about that 3 of spades? If only we had a 4 of spades, we could link those two together, but the 4 of spades is trapped. I'm going to try parking that 3 of spades first. That allows me to free up the 10, and the 10 can claim that empty position. Now what about this run here? Can we park a whole run? Let's try it. Let's put up the 5 and the 6 and the 7. It seems a little gutsy, but then we can take that 9, move the 10 up, and then we can take that 9 onto the 10 with the 8, and look at this. Now the 7 can follow, and the 6, and the 5. And what about that empty column? Well, don't worry. We've planned for that. Now the 10 can claim it, and we've got ourselves a nice full tableau, and things are beginning to get organized. What about that 4 of clubs? Can we put it anywhere? That's going to be tricky. I want that 4 of spades free too, and I want to free that queen of clubs. We really need to get that going, or that club foundation is going to fall behind. I'm looking at that 8. Maybe that 8 needs to park up top, and then we can put the 9 onto the 10, and that allows us to play the 7. I like that better, because then the 8 can come out of short-term parking and go right to the foundation. What about this 8 of clubs? The 8 of clubs can go back to the tableau onto the 9. Remember, those build down in suit, and we can start building a nice club run here. That is getting organized. I need that 5 of clubs. But the 5 of clubs is not in a good position. I'm going to have to I have to think on this one. Yes, I'm processing. Sometimes you just have to think through some moves and strategize. Well, maybe that 6 can be parked up top, and then that 5 of clubs is freed for our run. I like that better. The king of spades can move to the foundation, and then here comes the 5 of hearts onto our foundation, followed by the 6, and we can also pull the 7 into the game. I like that better. Okay, that looks better to me. What's next? I really need an ace on that king. What about that 4? We can finally put the 4 of spades where it belongs, and now look, we finally can play our queen of clubs. She's been hiding this whole time, and we finally freed her from that column. We've got an empty column there where only a 10 can claim it. No problem there. Here comes the king of clubs to continue that pile. We can put an ace of spades on that king. Remember, those piles are cyclical. Put the 3 of clubs on the 4, and then we can follow up with a lot of cards on that heart foundation. There goes the 8, and the 9, and the 10 as well, and we have one complete pile. I think we're onto something. Now we need that 9, don't we, to get that pile going. So let's do a cyclical move on the club with the ace and the 2. We really need a 3 next. Well, we can take that whole pile. This is always so much fun, and just place those all in order right onto your foundation, and look at that. We have 2 complete piles. I like that very much. Here comes the 9 of diamonds and the 10. Oh boy, we're up to 3 complete piles. You see what's happening here. Complete your run, gather up all those spades, and then enjoy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 4 complete piles. You are looking at a winning hand of Penguin. Wow, that was fun. Well, to Ms. Wilkes, who wrote in with the request to play a game based on her favorite animal, the penguin, and the reminder that they shall always face due south, thank you so much for writing. I really hope you enjoyed the lesson as much as I did, and I hope, that you join us again next time. Oops!